Don't you see her sitting there across the way? She don't got a lot to say, but there's something about her. And you don't know why, but you're dying to try. You wanna kiss the girl. So, yeah, I'm a little tone deaf. I'm also partially deaf from a sinus infection. So that's that, but I just feel like some positive things are coming in, but the energy still feels really heavy. The energy still really heavy. And it feels like you had to work through a lot of feelings of abandonment, a lot of feelings of healing from narcissism, healing from manipulation, healing from coming in contact with toxic masculinity. Oh, I did a reading on toxic masculinity for another channel, but it feels like YouTube is different. The YouTube energy is different today. It's much more like uplifting. Much more uplifting. Positive things are coming in. Positive things are coming in because you sent away the toxic things. Star, baby, you're the star. You're starting to acknowledge the hurt and pain you went through in a different type of manner. You no longer feel bad about what you went through. You might still have trauma coming up out of your body. There's a lot of like, your body is the first thing to pull on trauma. Your body is the first thing to take on stress. As soon as you start feeling things that don't make you feel good, emotions that are projected at you, working in toxic environments, being around toxic people, you start noticing it in your body more. Usually your face starts to get a little bit bigger, your cortisol levels go up. We start feeling anxiety in our stomach when things don't feel good. So when we start healing, we heal mentally and we heal our hearts before we heal our bodies. Our bodies are one of the last thing to change. So, and you can notice it too. You can notice it too, because once you go through like the healing journey, I know I got a lot of fuzzies on here. If you're going to judge me, you're in the wrong room, because we don't judge in this collective. We're a heart space collective. We're all about opening our heart space. No judgment. Plus, I don't really care. I put this on knowing there were fuzzies on it, but acknowledging it. Just stepping into your power, finding your voice and realizing that you can speak up about things. Speaking up about things when you're coming from a healed perspective is a positive thing, my friend, because you can look at the situation and step back, appreciate the lesson that you learned, but understand like, that person treated me that way. They're probably going to treat someone else this way if I don't like speak up about their manner. If you speak up about it, a narcissist or somebody who does a lot of manipulation, they'll feel shame because they care a lot about what other people think about them. A true healed person really isn't going to care what other people are thinking about them. They're just not, because they understand that the opinion of other people's are their own opinion. And on top of it too, a healed person is not living in their ego. So they're not in this lifetime to try to impress other people. If you're trying to impress other people, that's ego. That's ego. And for the most part, ego, I feel like, can be toxic. So we're healing through some heavy stuff, It does feel heavy. Even the energy yesterday felt heavy. It feels really heavy across my chest. It feels heavy on my shoulders, but it's no longer feeling like I'm just carrying heavy stuff. It feels like I'm almost like sore, because now I'm getting muscular. I'm getting stronger from all of the heavy things that I was carrying, stronger from everything that I went through. Page of Wands, having new opportunities, starting to be more adventurous, starting to push yourself out of that bubble. It feels like the healing that you went through, it's like you're now coming out of like the cave, like I grew up in Buffalo, New York. And so in the winter, you kind of hibernate. It's like, you eat more carbs, you sleep more, it's cold, you don't want to move around so much. So it's funny because whenever I think about slowing down and taking time to self, now that I live in LA, I'm just like, oh, it's like Buffalo, pretend there's a winter storm out there. You won't feel as guilty if the sun is shining, if you need time to like slow down. But you went through that slow down, you went through that processing, you worked through your feelings, and this feels more like an emergence into springtime, an emergence into the sunshine, an emergence to see what crops are coming back this spring, what flowers are ready to bloom, where the birds, the sunshine, the beautiful bits of summer, the beautiful bits of the world just coming out to shine on you, being open to new opportunities. And because you have done so much healing, there's something about a divine counterpart coming in. So divine feminine and divine masculine, we all have both energies. A lot of people say you're just supposed to be one or the other. But I think in your partnerships, it should be a beautiful balance. And so that's what this is. It's the partnership balance. Your energy, because you balanced it out, is now ready to be in balance with somebody else. Previous relationships, previous situationships, even including friendships, work environments, it feels like things were always out of balance because there was always some type of toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity is about control. It now feels like there's no control energy. When there's no control energy, it's free-flowing energy. Free-flowing energy. So King of Pentacles, a lot of warm stability coming in. Healthy masculine energy, protector energy, provider energy, opportunities to help you grow. That's what a provider really is. Somebody who can help you grow. It's not somebody who's supposed to just be giving you gifts all the time. Anyone who thinks it's somebody who's supposed to be giving you gifts all the time, that's like ego. That's like gold digger. We're not doing that. You know, it's like the nice gifts, being kind for no reason. It's not the immature energy either. This is slow moving. So it might be slow moving coming in but it's king and knight. So not mature energy. This is somebody who maybe used to be out of alignment, but they did as much work as you did, which is freaking cool, And that's why it's like, I feel like I just keep seeing like the Little Mermaid, and specifically like, you know, Sebastian playing the drums, but it's also a really beautiful song because the melody is really even. The melody is very calm, but it's also uplifting. Fireflies, the beauty of the night, the moon, the reflection of the moon in the lake, the stars shining down. It just feels like, to some degree, especially moving into age of the Aquarius, there's something about, I've gotten a lot of visions about the ocean with stars and moon reflecting off of the ocean, a lot of healing energy coming in, because the more that the collective gets rid of toxic masculinity, the more the collective moves into the healed femininity. Healed feminine energy is healing energy. Healed feminine energy, it's connected to the moon, connected to the stars. We're all connected. We're all stardust. I also wore space earrings today. We appreciate beauty from afar, but we don't try to own it. Could you imagine, other than like in cartoons, if like everyone just started fighting? I own the moon. Don't look at the moon is mine. That's my star, stop looking at it. Those are my constellations. No, that would be toxic masculinity. And honestly, it's 2025. I don't put it past whatever, trying to do whatever. Knight of Wands. So it's funny, the knights are all coming up in reverse. It's like the immature energy is moving out of the space so the mature energy can come in. The mature energy can come in. A lot of twos right now too. So so we got Two of Cups reversed and also Two of Wands, which was reversed with Six of Coins. So we got rid of this toxic energy in order to make space for the abundance coming in. We couldn't be in partnerships. We could not be in partnerships with people who were immature. And that includes business partnerships, friendships, family ships, neighborships. I avoid my neighbors if they're toxic. You know, like moving away from this immature toxic energy to move into this growth, to move into this stability, to move into this abundance. You still got to let go of some things though. It feels like you're about to close a door, but I'm trying to see if I can like feel into it. It's like you're trying to close a door, but it hasn't fully closed, not because you don't want to close it, but because there's just one more thing that the universe wants you to see. There's one more thing that the universe wants you to see. And then there's also something to be said about the people who took the healing versus the people who did not take the time to heal. Those who took the time to heal are starting to rise. Those who did not take the time to heal, that's what it is. That's why the door hasn't closed yet. It's almost like their wake-up call is you saying like, hey, no, sorry, time's up, friend, and you didn't make it. And I'm also, okay, so I'm seeing Aladdin, and specifically Return from Jafar, which I feel like I haven't seen since I was like really little. And Jasmine's in the sand timer, and the sand timer's coming down, and it's going to cover her up. And it's almost like time is up. And I don't see Jasmine as somebody who did anything other than other than like a representation of everyone had the same amount of time to heal. But what did you do with that time? Did you actually take advantage and do positive things with the time that was given to you? Did you actually take the synchronicities and the coincidences and the signs from the universe? Or were you dishonest with yourself? I don't think that you have any of this. It's more so like you're pulling back from the energy that didn't heal. You're pulling back from the energy that didn't get to the level where you needed them at, Intuitive perception. I know that what my intuitive senses tell me are true. I open myself up to the truth that is within and around me, and I know that is there for me to receive. I practice developing my intuition, and I know that is a major aspect of who I am, which is really funny. I also pulled this for TikTok's reading today. And TikTok's reading was all about letting go of toxic masculinity. Letting go of toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity, let's remind ourselves, is in women too. Everyone, regardless of what you identify as, regardless of what you were born as, regardless of who you are as a person, toxic masculinity is when people are threatened by other people just for existing. When other people try to dominate other people for some sense of control. Authoritative actions are outdated. They're outdated. I have no problem telling anyone that. Outdated. We're here for the kindness. We're here for the nurturing. How do you nurture something? You know, you speak softly to it. You give it love. You give it food, shelter, warmth. I think love needs to be added to the list of things that we need in order to survive. We need love in order to survive. If you do not have love, and love stems from self. So the love that you need needs to be coming from self first. But everyone needs love to survive. And I'm thinking about when I was in 7th grade, I had a teacher. She adopted a daughter from Spain, and her daughter was in an orphanage where they didn't have enough people on staff to actually hold their babies. And so her daughter stopped crying. And when a baby is born, a baby naturally cries. Because that's how they let their parent know that they need food, that they're hungry, that they wet themselves. And her kid didn't cry. So she said she would wake up in the middle of the night checking on her, because the kid would never let her know if she was hungry or thirsty or anything else, because she did not receive love as an infant. She did not receive the love and care that she needed as an infant. And it was a really beautiful thing, honestly, that teacher was sharing that information with us when we were in 7th grade, because it speaks a lot about compassion and love. You are exactly where you need to be. You need to realize that you are the star of your own adventure. You're the protagonist. Things that aren't working out weren't meant to work out for you. Isn't that beautiful? The things that aren't working out weren't meant to work out for you. You're going to move in the direction where things are working out. Dang. I'm telling you, this reading is very similar to my TikTok today. So giving up on reaching out to things that are no longer serving you, switching your perspective to have appreciation for the hard times that you went through, because you came out on top, and you are starting to realize that the difficult times that you went through were really to show you how strong you were, how capable you were. And then having compassion for all of the things that you had to heal through that tried to take away from you, because you're now about to stand in your power with everything that you wanted plus some. And you got here all by yourself. You got here because you healed your heart. Bravo, my friends. I love you. Keep going.